The Border Management Authority will be relocating some of its services to deal with congestion and overflow at the Lebombo border post. It's a temporary relocation of that border, so officials from both countries will have to work together inland to deal with freight and other border services. But Nqobile Madlala is standing by with the Border Management Authority's Dr. Mike Masiapato to tell us the very latest. Nqobile.
Yes, indeed, Iman. And in fact, he is going to tell us about the implementation of some of the plans for this festive season. And I want to bring in now my guest to speak to us about that. Commissioner, it's obviously a busy time for the border. You yourself were stuck in traffic. Take us through what you are implementing this festive season.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Nqobile. Yeah, indeed, this is now I will say, one of the days that we're expecting the highest peak. Primarily because it is a Friday. It's actually just into the weekend towards Christmas, as it were. So we are very much, I would say, very much prepared to be able to handle the traffic that will be coming in. So up to this point, for example, we can just indicate that overnight we've been able to process even about 1,000 trucks in terms of clearing some of the bedlocks that were on the N4, as it were. So everything is fairly going according to plan, and we are very much hopeful that we will be able to handle all the crowd as they come through. Unfortunately, just on the corridor now, we had some bit of a challenge, but it has just been cleared now by the colleagues from the Traffic Department of Mpumalanga, together with the colleagues from the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency. So now everything is cleared, we should be able to start rolling.
And of course, today we are going to be seeing technology also included in ensuring that you control the congestion and traffic.
Yeah, so indeed, you will remember that just in the past week, we did have the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Leon Schreiber, who came through to launch the drones that we are actually to deploy during this particular period. These are the drones that we requested from the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development. So today is the first day where we now do the real rollout in terms of the deployment of those drones. So in terms of the deployment, because we are dealing with the exit, we are mainly going to deploy them on the corridor to be able to actually see the activities of the drivers along the corridor and be able to make sure that we deploy accordingly if there is any possible congestion. But at the same time, we'll also deploy on the borderline, just to be able to pick up if there will be anybody who will be trying to enter the country illegally on the borderline, particularly the vulnerable segments. But we don't expect that to be a problem because we are handling the exit now. So on that particular basis, our primary focus is the management of the people movement, the management of cargo, and then when we deal with the return is where now we start dealing with issues of illegal migration.
And whilst you talk about the illegal migration, I mean, we've noticed a lot of police on the ground trying to stop that from taking place in and around this area. Do you have maybe numbers in terms of people who have come in, left, or in terms of even any arrests?
Yeah, you see, up to this point, we also have a number of people. Just over the past a few days, we've been able to manage around 19,000 people that we've been able to process in and out. We've also seen a high number of Mozambicans that are coming into South Africa. And those people, most of them, they are going to Komati Port in terms of buying their groceries for December or for Christmas, as it were. So most of those, they come through and then they're able to go to the town to buy things, and we process them back into the country. So that is the bit of a different volume, as it were. In terms of criminality, we continue to arrest people. I don't have the actual number now, but most of those will be the people who will try to cause some problems on the corridor, for example, on the trucks that are actually on the road. Remember, one of the challenges we used to have is when people try to even steal your diesel from the trucks and all of that. So it is those kind of individuals that get arrested, and on that basis they get taken to the police at Komati Port for processing. But otherwise, in terms of illegal migration issues, we don't have that much at this point, because primarily now the issues is about people exiting the country.
And talking about that exit, how prepared then are you when it comes to the issue of the elections that side? Because, I mean, we've heard that already you've relocated some of the services to Kilometer 7, but how prepared are you to deal with any spills from that side?
Yeah, so indeed, we have from today started with co-locating with our Mozambican counterparts at Kilometer 7 on the South African side for the purposes of processing the exit in that particular spot. But at the same time, we also have South Africans in Kilometer 4 in Mozambique to be able to handle also the return from that other side. So That is basically what we do this time most of the time. But unfortunately, we have this real challenge about the 23rd, where we get to understand that the leader of the opposition is going to be listening together with the protesters the outcome of the Constitutional Council in terms of what the outcome is. So unfortunately, as the Border Management Authority, that is completely beyond our control. As you will know, we did have the Minister of International Relations, Mr. Lamola, here, meeting with his counterpart. We wanted them to start having those political consultations so that they can start neutralizing this challenge that we are dealing with. But from where we sit as the BMA, that situation is completely out of our control. But what we do instead is to have continuous engagement with our colleagues in Mozambique for them to be able to tell us if indeed it is safe to continue processing people into the Mozambican side. Once they alert us that it is not safe, we will have to stop processing, unfortunately. And we will still guide people that they can go to Mananga port, enter into Eswatini, and go out into Nomahasha and enter Mozambique on the other side.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, for your time. That is the Commissioner of BMA, Iman. He is telling us details really with regards to what is taking place in Lebombo. So from the technology to the details on the ground, as well as alternative routes that can be taken should there be any spillover on the 23rd.
Right, and I'm sure the inclement weather making things all the more complicated. Nqobile Madlala there live for us with the head of the BMA, Dr. Mike Masiapato.